So on this week's episode of Be More Super, the podcast, I've got a great guest. He's not only starred in The Flash, Siren, Virgin River, Supernatural, but the upcoming movie, which I'm sure we're probably not allowed to speak about, but I'm sure we might get a few nods and a bit of, exclusives maybe of Resident Evil. It's, of course, a wonderful Chad Rook. Chad, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks a lot, Brian. Appreciate it, brother.
It is a pleasure. And how is everything with you? Because you're expecting soon. When's the due date?
It's a crazy year, man. Yeah, we're June 4th. I guess we're gonna be having a little boy, I guess, around then. So poor kid, and I don't know what to say, but I'm excited, but equally scared.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, for anyone that's expecting at the moment, I can imagine it's a scary time. But how exciting to have a little baby boy on the way. I mean, kids are just fantastic. I've got two little girls, and I've mastered the art of moving from one room to the other without breaking my legs on Lego. So I'm
Yeah,
sure
man.
that you can put yourself through that at some point. So
I,
how's everything with you and work wise over the last year? How's it affected everything in the world of Chad Rook?
yeah, I mean, the industry obviously completely shut down during the pandemic for a huge chunk of last year, and then thank God I relocated from Vancouver to Toronto just prior to the pandemic. I was actually planning to move to Los Angeles, actually, and then the pandemic hit, and so I decided, obviously, Canada is definitely the better of the two choices, especially during a pandemic when the United States doesn't even provide health care or anything like that. So obviously the choice was pretty easy to make. Stayed in Canada, and then saw an audition for Resident Evil, which is just so random because, again, like I said, everything was closed, and then all of a sudden you get a huge audition for something like that, whereas as opposed to it's not just a little Hallmark audition or anything like
Yeah,
that. So yeah, we got that, and that was it was just a weird process, man, because it was I had no work, and then all of a sudden you have this audition, and then I auditioned for one role, and then I got the so I auditioned for a role of this size. They gave me this role, and
yeah.
then 2 days later we got a call from the producers saying, we have changed our minds, and we're wondering if you would like to play Richard Aiken. So, which is much bigger than the other two roles I actually auditioned for.
That
So
is
thank God
awesome.
that happened. And then shortly after that, we got the film Dangerous, which is the new Mel Gibson, Tyrese Gibson, all those guys are in there. It's an action thriller, which I play one of the bad guys, and so it's going to be a pretty fun summer. They're both coming out this summer, so.
And when are we going to see you in like a romantic comedy lead? Because you're
Hey,
always playing the bad
I
guys.
am. I am actually. I have my own film called Perfect Pickup, man, and it's out there right now on Amazon and all that places. And that's a romantic comedy, so go check that out. But honestly, man, I didn't really get into acting to just play a normal dude, right? Like, I love
Hmm.
comedy. That's actually how I started back in the day. I did stand up, and then we did sketch comedy shows. But I don't know, something about playing those dark, cool villainous characters, man. It just it draws me a lot more to a role than just playing some slapstick comedy stuff.
And it's a lot more sort of exciting to play the bad guy, I suppose, because when you do, come out of it, you come out of it with an explosion. Do you know what I mean? The bad guy
Yeah,
always leaves with a good exit. It's not
that's
going to
right.
be,
Yeah, go out with
yeah.
a bang. That's it.
Exactly, yeah. Go out with a bang. And before we start talking a bit about your career and a bit of stuff that I want to talk to you about, like the Flash and Siren, I've got to say, on Instagram, your room that we can see. I know, obviously, you said that you were getting ready to move, but
I
there's
just
lots of
moved into a new place. Yeah.
okay. There is a lot of geeky stuff on that wall. And I'm so proud of
Oh
you.
man,
I
yeah, yeah.
really, really am. You've got action figures above your head, which am I right in saying that's something from? You've got Hellraiser. You've
Yeah,
got
I am a huge gamer, and I'm an even bigger horror movie fan. My mom actually raised me on horror films. She loves horror films, and so I always watched it with her, even as a young kid. And flash forward, it's just kind of cool because now, because of my roles and stuff, I got to go to Comic Cons and I get to travel the world and I get to meet all of these people. So I've actually met, like, all these people who play those characters that I just admired as kids, and now I get to hang out with them, and it's pretty surreal.
That is awesome. I mean, obviously, you're very well known for the characters that you play, and just quickly touching on the conventions, do you ever get sort of starstruck at these conventions? And if you do, who's been the person that you've been so starstruck with?
Yeah. Okay. Well, so I don't get starstruck from actors, but if you know me personally, and this is like probably the nerdiest thing about me, is I'm a huge wrestling fan, like WWE since I've been a child. I remember my dad took me to wrestling one time, and I got to see Jake the Snake Roberts fight
Oh,
Andre the Giant. Okay, so
really?
like it just blew me away. So I did get starstruck one time, and it was from. I'll show you one second. Let me see if I got this. Uh, he's he's on the wall somewhere anyway. Here we go. This is the moment I got starstruck. Is when I met the Undertaker.
Yes.
Dude, that was the
Oh,
only thing. I think that was the only time I ever got starstruck in my career and stuff, because it was just,
oh,
I don't get it from actors. I work with them all the time and stuff, but when I saw the Undertaker, I was like, dude, you're the Undertaker. you
oh,
know?
mate. Do you know what? I am a massive fan of wrestling myself, and especially the old wrestling. Like I've met
Yeah.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan. You know,
So
ho, and he's just amazing. And yeah,
I actually, one second, I gotta show you this. This
yes,
this is a 2x4 signed by Hacksaw Jim Duggan, brother.
yes. You know
How?
what? You can't.
That's like my coolest. That's like my coolest souvenir I've ever gotten.
And do you know what? When I met Hacksaw, right next to him was Ted DiBiase. You know, the $1 million man.
$1 million man. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they asked me, "Am I meeting the other wrestlers?" And they had a few like the younger wrestlers, and I went, "No, no, no. The old days are the best days." And these wrestlers looked at me like gone out, like, "What
Yeah.
do you mean?" But do you know what? Nothing's going to replace the Ultimate Warrior, Legion of Doom,
No.
the British
Demolition,
Bulldog.
Rock, the Heart Foundation, all that stuff, man. It's just
Oh
you can't beat it.
yeah. Yeah, and do you know what? I watched a documentary on ESPN on Ric Flair. I don't know if you've seen it yet,
Yeah.
but the documentary he made was just, through his life and how interesting his life is, and obviously the sad thing about his son, losing his life through drugs and everything like that. But oh man,
It's part of showbiz, though. It's kind of funny because
yeah,
it's just always you only see the facade of them that is exposed to television and stuff, and you have no clue what's going on behind the scenes all the time. So
exactly, yeah.
it's kind of a telltale to that. It's kind of crazy.
So, Chad, where was you born and raised? Because I research all my guests, but I find that a lot of the time the information on the internet is completely nonsense.
You
So,
know what?
where
It's
was you born
always
and
wrong.
raised?
I got a funniest text from my brother one time, and he says, "You owe me money." And I said, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "I just Googled your net worth, and it says you have $8 million in the bank." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like,
Awesome.
where do people get this stuff from?" But
It's
anyway,
all your stuff in your office.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. I was actually born in Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada. It's like a little southern prairie town in Canada, and yeah, that's where I was born and raised, man. That's where the southern twang comes in. I'm just a lazy redneck.
There's nothing wrong with rednecks. But what made you get into acting? Because obviously you did modelling, but it's just a strange profession to get into. It really is. It's
Well,
one of the most competitive ones and the most, you know, rejection-filled professions that you can get. You know,
Yeah,
so what
I
made you go into it?
when I was in high school, I went through a bunch of that bullying crap, and so I wasn't really the most popular kid and stuff, and but when I would do drama class, acting and stuff, all that kind of stuff just went away, right? So I don't know, I kind of was drawn to it, and then I just kept doing it, almost as a little bit of an escape, I guess you would say, from having to not hang out with the bullies or whatever.
Mm,
So I just kind of drew it to that, and I just fell in love with it, man. It was like I said, it was an escape. You get to be someone else that you might like at the time better than yourself, but obviously you mature and you grow up and
mm,
all that stuff. But that's how I got into acting, man. And I did modeling and stuff because where I was raised, there was no film and TV industry at all. Like,
mm,
so I had to move where the work was, and so right out of high school, I got a few jobs and saved up and moved to Vancouver as soon as I could. But in the meantime, I ended up doing a film and television competition. It was over a weekend, and I got an agent. I got the world's worst photo shoot done of myself at the time, and sent out photos to all these agencies. And I ended up getting an agency in Tampa Bay, Florida. I flew down there. We got some modeling stuff, and it was a way into the film industry
mm.
at that time. I never really wanted to be a model. I think the industry is corrupt beyond belief. I wouldn't want to do that. But it was a way in, and it got me introduced to the people I needed to know.
I mean, talking about the bullies in high school, because I've been bullied quite a lot because I had a stammer when I was younger, and I still suffer from a stammer now, um, and I used to get bullied quite a lot. Looking back now of where you are now and what you've achieved, have you ever looked back and to see where those bullies are? Do you know what I mean? What they're up to? Because
Well,
I've looked at the
isn't that what the whole purpose of Facebook is nowadays? Is just to see
yeah.
who you went to high school with, and hope to God they're fatter than you are. Like, that's just really kind of what it is. But yeah, I've always looked at people in high school every now and then. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like track them down and then laugh at them every time a film comes out or something. I mean, I'm probably sending them a plug and tag them in it, but you know how that goes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, remember me? No, but good for you anyway, because it's quite hard, and I think performing arts and acting is a great way of dealing with situations like that. So your first ever audition that you had. Can you remember your first ever audition?
Um, oh my God, that was 21 years ago, bud. Actually, no, it was even before that. I remember my first audition. It was in grade 6. I had to audition for the role of Santa Claus to get my first role ever, which was, and I ended up getting it, but it was a 2-day audition. Get this, for a grade 6 student, and they did like a process of elimination thing, and
Wow.
I had to go into this massive gymnasium with just my principal, and he was the judge, I guess. And I had to sing a Santa Claus song in front of him, man. And it was, I don't know, it was really weird. But until this day, I don't think I remembered that, dude. So thanks for that memory.
Two
That's so
days though for
crazy. I've
Santa
just like
Claus.
changed my mind. I've never thought of that for years. That's funny.
2 days for a Santa Claus. Did you
It
get the
was that.
part?
Yeah, I got the part, man.
Good
Yeah,
man,
yeah,
good man, good
yeah, yeah.
man. So obviously with everything going on in the last year, and obviously people are doing self tapes a lot more. Do you prefer self tape auditioning to actually auditioning in person?
Well, yes and no. So the self tape auditions are good because you can kind of fuck up if you can, or mess up. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And you just do it over and over and over until you have a perfect audition. Then you send it in. You have a lot. It's a lot less stressful. However, I always found in the past, when the in-person auditions were there, it almost seems like your chances of getting the role are higher because you have that now repertoire with them in person. You've seen them in
Mm,
person. They've seen you, and you've proven to them that you don't need 9 million takes, that you went into the room with no mess ups. So obviously the stress and the pressure is on, but at the same time, that's what every actor should be able to do anyway. So you might as well go with the one that probably gets you a better chance at it.
Yeah, definitely. And what's your end goal, Chad? What is your end goal in life in this industry? Is it about awards or is it about the work?
No, I would love to be able to just continuously not only do this, but to be financially successful so I can just fund my own projects. I won't
Mm.
have to audition. If I want to play an assassin tomorrow, I'm going to fund it and make a movie for it. Things like that. Or if something comes up where a buddy of mine or someone pitches me an idea that I like as well, or something that you can just go ahead, okay, let's fund it. Let's do it right now, not wait for all the propaganda stuff or going through unions and all that kind of stuff. That would be ultimately my goal, and that would be with acting and directing, because I'm loving directing right now as well. And the other thing would be, my biggest goal would be to change the Canadian film industry in regards to casting. A lot of people don't know this, but Canadian actors actually have to go through a lot more hoops and jumps to get one of the bigger roles, like especially a series regular or lead role. Those are almost always being cast out of Los Angeles or the States. And then after they've cast the series regulars and the lead roles, then they start auditioning Canadian actors. And it's happened for like 20, since I've been in the game, like 20 years, and it never stops. So my ultimate goal will be to finally change that and equal the playing field on both sides of the border, especially considering that most of it's shot up in Canada anyway.
Yeah, yeah, and that's shocking to hear as well because I know that, they say that Hollywood is broken in many ways, especially,
Yeah.
the race side of things. But you know what, I didn't realize that, and that's shocking, isn't it? It should be fair all around. It should be the best
Yeah,
person should get the role,
it's not,
no matter
you would
what.
be shocked. You'd be shocked how many times my agent and I have gotten a call saying Chad's our first choice right now. He's on hold, so it's called shortlisted. You're being shortlisted. It means they have to send you for studio approval. And we have lost. I can't even tell you how many over the years, how many roles we have lost because they've literally came back to us and told us, sorry, the producers want to go with an American option. Literally, those are their words. They want an American actor because it's an American project, even though it's been shot in Canada. And it's just they kind of take care of their own, right? Like, I don't know if it's so much of a union thing where
Mm,
but it's getting to the point where it's nonstop and it's not changing. That's definitely something that does need to change.
definitely, definitely, without a doubt. So let's talk about the Flash because that's the first time I saw you in anything, and I'm a
Mm.
big comic geek, and
Yeah.
so are you. From what I've heard, so it's got to be exciting to actually be involved in the pilot of the Flash, and we see you as Clyde Mardin, this weather, controlling metahuman.
Yeah.
How awesome was it to be on that show, and especially the pilot as well?
And speaking of auditions, that was actually one in particular as well. I actually auditioned for the Flash 7 times. And
Wow.
after my third audition, every single audition, the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh one, they kept putting us on hold, saying we're going to look at more American options. Four more times after I auditioned 3 times already. I actually auditioned for Eddie's role.
Mm.
Prior to that, and then I auditioned for actual Barry Allen, and then they offered the third audition was for Clyde Martin, and then I had 4 more auditions after that for Clyde, and then eventually we got it. I met with um, uh, David probably 4 times, the director and stuff, and Jeff Johns and stuff, and all of them. And then we finally got it, man. And when we got that call, I remember my agent called me, man. It was super early in the morning. The industry didn't even open. And like usually things start at 10 and he called me at 8. So I knew something was up. And dude, I was screaming, man. I was like, this is crazy. I'm playing the friggin' weather was like, I'm a super
Yeah,
villain.
yeah. And of course, it's directed by David Nutter. That David is this magic man that anything he directs as a pilot gets picked up by the network.
Yes,
He's
why he's
directed Game
hired
of
for pilot. Exactly, man. He blows it
yeah,
away, and you look at that pilot episode. I mean, whether you're a fan of superhero shows or not. That's a pretty badass episode.
Yeah. And what was he like to work under
It was
as a director?
David's really cool because he's one of those. There's few directors that you get to work with that allow you to do your thing. You know,
Yeah.
they have a lot of directors have a vision, and you have to do it exactly how they. And it kind of takes the fun out of it being active. But David, he lets you just do your thing. He lets you get creative. He lets you, when I was doing those weird twitches and stuff like that with the character, he just let me do it, and he liked it, and he trusts his actors, and that's kind of one of the best things you can act or ask for as an actor.
Mhm. And then obviously, filming the pilot and then seeing the finished article, how amazing was that? Because the amount of special effects around you, for instance, are stunning.
Yeah.
They
It's
really
pretty
are.
funny.
So
It's pretty cool because when you're on set of something like that, a lot of it's green screen. It's all imagination. Like so, when I'm walking and a tornado is around me, like because I'm creating this tornado, I'm in the center of this tornado. Well, on set, I'm walking on a green treadmill, and they have these 5 massive fans blowing me off the treadmill. And then David comes in and says, "Okay, now you're fighting the Flash." And I'm like, "No, dude, I'm fighting gravity. I'm about to fly off this treadmill, man. Let's just get this shot and get out of here." But then you see it on camera and you're like, this is nuts. I'm in the center of a tornado. It's nuts.
Oh, that is awesome. That is, it's, do you know what? It's got to be such a great experience to be on camera doing that and then seeing the finished article on how impressive it was. What I would say, I'm going to move to a fan's question. You probably know this person from Instagram, Katie Lester.
Cool.
Wanted to ask, how do you prepare for a role? For like generic, if you got a part, and for example, for Clyde, how do you prepare for playing a character?
Well, I think the best thing is if you get a character that doesn't really have something that you can relate to, like if I always find that music can really get you in a mindset of someone, because if you listen to any type of music, like from your younger days and stuff like that, it just puts you in a certain mood. Like it puts you in an attitude. If you feel, heavy metal's not going to make you want to, just sit and calmly relax. So if you can find kind of a music style or genre that you think that character would relate to and would associate with, I think that's a really good starting point to get you into the mindset and, feeling of it.
And what's your favorite music, out of curiosity? What do you
I'm,
listen
I'm
to at the moment?
I listen to hip hop and pretty much hip hop and old rock like AC/DC, Metallica, those kind of guys.
Good man, good man. Good to hear. So obviously, and then we see Siren, which when it came out, when it was promoted, that this show was going to be about mermaids. Honestly, I thought, where are they going to go with that? And when it came on, I thought it was awesome. It was such a good show. Again, it was geared towards late teens, early 20s. I am 41. Believe it or not, I've had a hard paper round, all right, and I really enjoyed it. And you play Chris Mueller in the show. What was it like to be on the set of Siren,
Yeah,
surrounded by these lovely, mermaids?
it was cold. It was probably one of the coldest sets I've ever been on, and it was always night shoots. And we were in Canada, and it was like during the winter months, and then they're dropping like rain machines on you and wind machines, and it was freezing. It was literally one of the coldest sets I've ever been on. But that being said, it was probably one of the coolest casts I've ever worked with. Everyone got along both on and off the set. We all became kind of family oriented. We hung out, we played games and stuff, had game nights and everything. It was just a cool cast. Everyone got along. And it was such a creative set too. And that as well, that was a weird one. I actually, for Siren, I got the role of Chris. And in the original script, I actually die in the pilot episode. So I thought it was just going to be a one-off. And then a couple days before we started filming, we did the read-through, and they changed the script completely, and I became a character throughout the whole series.
That's awesome. That is really,
Yeah,
really good because, you look at shows like 24, um, and people that go onto that show literally can get killed off in one episode without even
yeah,
realizing. So it must be quite nice to go expecting one, and you being signed up for the rest of the series, which is pretty cool.
yeah.
On to Phantomanda on Instagram. So Resident Evil. So I've never played the games, believe it or not, but all my friends have, and they've told me to play the games. And I've never gone around to playing the games. I've seen every Resident Evil movie, and obviously Mila Djokovic, is now taken a knee, and she has stopped making the movies for now, and she's you know gone aside, and there is a new movie coming out which is more of an origin story movie. This is what we've read online, and obviously you've said that you've played Richard Aiken, so there is some questions here. You can say no comment if you're not allowed to say anything. I completely understand with NDAs. So how was the experience? So this is from Fanto Manda. How was the experience for you working on Resident Evil?
It
So
was
how was it?
uh, it was surreal. So I am an original Resident Evil fan. I was raised on those games. I can vividly remember the first time I was walking down those corridors in the Spencer's match, and those dogs broke through the windows and they chase you. It scared the bejesus out of me then, and I understand why it still does today. And I loved it. And to play so many days and days of your life, to spend so much time of your life in a game oriented world that's especially around like the Spencer Mansion or Raccoon City, which are iconic in the Resident Evil, and then to get cast as one of the characters you used to play in a video game, and then you walk onto a set that is literally you now in the video game. It is mental. It's kind of a mind fuck in a way, because it's not just a set anymore. It means a lot more to you when you step on something that you've envisioned and now you're actually in.
I mean, his next question was, what can the audience and the fans expect? So obviously, you've said there that it's very close to the original games one and two. So it's going to have that feel about it, which I think is probably going to. I know what the gaming community is like. I really do, because I'm getting hounded all the time by them, especially if I have a guest from that sort of franchise. So would you say, what would you say is to be expected from
But
the movie? What can the fans expect?
have you seen the new Mortal Kombat trailer for the new Mortal Kombat coming out?
Yes, I've got a few of the cast on
Okay,
soon
are you a
coming
Mortal
on.
Kombat are you a Mortal Kombat
Yes,
fan now? Okay,
yes,
so that trailer is exactly what I think Resident Evil is going to do for the gamer fans of Resident Evil, because I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan, and when I saw that trailer for the new movie coming out, it was probably the best trailer I've ever seen in my life. It gave us everything that we've always wanted, even though there have been previous Mortal Kombat movies.
yeah.
There was always like, I wish there was something different. And this trailer, this looks like we're getting what you get, all the characters you know and love. You get, maybe some little twists and stuff and new stuff, but you're seeing what you've always wanted to see. And with Resident Evil, it's the same thing. We never really got the Resident Evil movie we wanted, because
No.
Resident Evil wasn't. I mean, that storyline with Alice, that was actually, I was told, and I'm not going to say by who, but on set, those weren't even written as Resident Evil movies originally. They were
Mm.
actually, it was own little side movie that turned into a zombie movie, and then producers and stuff came and said, let's make it a Resident Evil movie, and that's why Alice was already the main character of that movie. So and now we're getting what we, Resident Evil is so renowned and loved by so many fans because of what it was and what it is in the game world, and we never got that in the films, and now I think we're gonna finally get what we wanted.
And do you know when we're going to get the first look at the trailer? You talking about trailers?
I don't. Everyone always asks me when's the trailer come. I'm not privy to that information, unfortunately. I wish I did.
But I'm sure that if we
I'm sitting there waiting every day like you guys. So.
And how would you define the character of Richard Aikens or Atkins? Aikens.
Yeah, I think I'm not gonna go too much into characters and stuff for now, just because I don't
That's
know
fine.
anything. But like I said, it's just nice to know that we're getting characters that we all know and love, and the way that Johannes, the director, has done it. It plays true to the characters in the game as well.
And would you say your part in Resident Evil has been your favourite part to play so far, or have you got another, part that's been your favourite?
I think Resident Evil definitely is up there with the experience because of what the show was. The character
Mm.
itself, I played a character. I played Captain Ahab in Once Upon a Time,
Yeah.
and that was probably I'm a one-legged pirate that hunted down Moby Dick, and now I'm fighting Captain Hook. So that's a pretty hard role to top, man. That was a fun one. I was literally walking around on set as a massive crazy wardrobe out of pirates with a one leg, and that was probably my favorite role, to be honest with you.
And I've got to ask as well because on a post that you put on your Instagram account, you posted a nice picture of your badge and your name tag from Resident Evil, and that got me thinking because the sponsors of my show is Prop Store that have got offices in LA and in London, and they sell and deal with props and costumes from the shows. So, have you ever kept anything from any of your productions that you've been involved in that you may have swiped or been given or borrowed? Borrowed
my
is, is,
my
is a good word.
The office I'm sitting in right now is surrounded by things that I've taken from every set, probably. And so, yes, I have done. You want to see something?
Yeah.
So this, I even took. So this is a Resident Evil one here, man, and I posted these. This is one of the shotgun shells from the actual shotgun I get to shoot on the movie. So this probably killed a good zombie or two. And then I even got this one, man. Now this is my name badge from War from the Planet of the Apes in my character. Well, knows until this very moment, if they watch this interview, that I even have these. I just took this stuff. I'm a thief, actually. I'm actor slash thief, and
But
that's what I guess I do. I probably need some help.
I am sure you earned everything that you've got. And the market for them is crazy because you think that them shotgun shells,
Yeah,
they sell for about $500 to $1,000 each. That's
yeah.
crazy
I
to
it's
collectors,
pretty,
which I think is
it's,
fantastic.
what's pretty crazy is that I actually I did an Instagram post with I think I collected 4 or 5 of the shells just for fun, and I posted them, and you would be shocked at how many people offered to buy one of these little plastic shotgun shells. It's crazy.
So keep an eye out at propstore.com because there may be
Yeah,
some shotgun
right.
shells on there very, very soon. But
Yeah.
but that's awesome. So let's move on to your fan base because your fan base is fantastic. You've got such loyal and passionate fans. Why are they so passionate? What are you a hypnotist? I mean, you have got some amazing fans. I mean, what makes them
No,
passionate?
you know what? My fans and my we have I think knowing other actors and how they do with social media and stuff. I think my fan base or whatever, and I have a little bit different camaraderie. Like we talk, I'm online all the time chatting with people, and I reply to them, and they reply to me. So it makes it a little bit different, right? So
Yeah.
we just kind of I actually start to know, like Katie Lester, for example. I know her, for example. I know people by names and stuff because we're always chatting. There's always something to talk about, right?
Definitely, definitely, and you go to a lot of conventions, which I've seen, and I can't wait for the conventions to start again for you to come over to the UK.
I can't.
What's been the most unique encounter you've had with a fan?
Oh, I mean, there's a lot, but I mean, I think it's kind of different when like they come up to you and they've tattooed you onto their body or something like that. Like,
Wow.
um, not only names, but then if they have faces or if they have the characters or and it is humbling. I mean, it's kind of cool, but at the same time, you look at them and like, are you out of your freaking tree? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, what if I quit acting and became some psycho murderer tomorrow? Now I'm on your body for life.
But that's cool. That's cool. It's got a story behind it. But
Yeah.
yeah, that must be absolutely weird because I suppose the pressure on you to how you act at these conventions. Again with these fans that have got your name tattooed or you've signed something on their body part and they've got it tattooed. The amount of pressure that you must feel to have to deliver, to deliver, such a nice persona. I mean, do you feel pressure over social media? Because a lot of actors that I've spoken to, there's quite a few that haven't got a social media presence, and they've done that
Yeah.
for a reason. I mean, do you
Yeah.
feel a lot of pressure on how you come across and how you do communicate with fans?
You know what? It's weird with social media. I find that the different types of platforms have a whole different vibe to it. I've actually
Mm.
pretty much stopped Twitter. I mean, I'll do like the odd post now and then, but Twitter seems like it's just full of trolls. It just is full of people that no matter you could go and post the most positive thing ever or about something, and you will
Yeah.
have for some reason 500 people just messaging you to say go die today. Like it's just weird, right?
Mm.
Whereas something like Instagram, everyone's so friendly and give you so it just really depends on them. And that's why, I don't use Twitter too much. I don't and this is why as well other actors that I know and stuff, their social media is just they only post like the odd thing because there's just no time for so much hate and there's just unfortunately social media is just packed with it.
Mm. Yeah, it's very true. There's some unusual individuals out there that just think, well, that spend their time just being horrible, which I just think's shocking. So what is next before we bid farewell to this lovely chat that I've had with you? What's next for the world of Chad Rook? What
I'm
is
actually
next for you?
I'm really looking forward to the release of Resident Evil and Dangerous, which are both coming out summer. Dangerous just got a worldwide theatrical release announced. That's going to be a really fun one. That I really enjoyed the character on that one a lot. And then I'm actually writing and trying to develop my next feature film to direct. It's called Asylum. It's a horror film, horror slash thriller, and it's an all female cast. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and I'm actually looking to maybe film that in Austria. So we're
Right.
so that's kind of my next project, other than the new baby on the way, and just fishing as much as I can this summer. So we'll see what happens.
And have you got any baby names that you're thinking of, or is it all top
Oh,
secret until he
we
arrives?
do, but you know how that is, man. You got to keep it secret. Don't know why, but we never know why we're keeping a secret, but we do.
Oh, bless you. Well, congratulations in advance to the birth of a bouncing baby boy. It's a magical thing to happen. Are you going to be at the birth, I presume? Are you going to be there with your arms ready to catch the baby?
I will be, man. But we just got knows that we might have another role on the way, and if so, it's gonna be going right over the birth. So I don't know, man. I'm praying that I'll be there and I'll do whatever I can to make it happen. So
Oh, bless you. Well, I hope you carry on doing what you're doing, which is magical, and I hope I wish you all the best in the future. And Chad, thank you so much for your time. Look after yourself. Keep safe, and thank you for coming on to the show.
and Brian, thanks a lot, man, and keep kicking ass, man. I've been watching a lot of your episodes and stuff. You do a great job, bud. So keep it up.